and Kendall Hodge will lead us in our pledge.
Let's pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today thankful for our lives, our blessings, just the opportunity to get out of bed, the health that we have. Lord, we pray that you will continue to be with the flood victims. We pray that you will continue to be with this country during this time of election. God, we know that you are in control and you already see the results and you're on top of it. And God, we just thank you so much for being sovereign and all-knowing, and help us to look to you for leadership, ultimate leadership. God, we thank you for all that are here tonight. Thank you for Kendall standing in with us tonight. And God, we just praise you and we worship you because this still is the greatest country in the world. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with our school presentation this evening from Fall Branch Elementary School.
You might be a little nervous.
You were them.
They're fine. No, thank you guys for allowing us to be here this evening. I have our student council here, who is actually led by, or the sponsor is Shayna Painter. She's in the back. She's a jack of all trades. She's done an outstanding job. They are going to present on something that we embarked on. Actually, it started out in the spring of last year, where we're trying to create more opportunities, more engagement in our with electives and having student choice within our electives. And so they're going to talk about those experiences that they've had. So with that, enjoy.
Hello, I'm Macy Thompson. I'm in 8th grade and work in Fall Branch School. Today our student council is going to be talking about our electives that we have chosen, presented by our student council. Hello, my name is Corbin Kerko, and I chose the elective Encore Music. The reason I really like Encore Music because I can use the instruments that I've never used before.
Sorry, I'm supposed to work your slides. I didn't know the plan.
What we're doing in Encore Music right now is the bucket drums and keyboards.
Great. I see you.
Hi, I'm Dakota Phillips. I'm in the 8th grade. Today I will be talking about my elective, which is Ancient Rome. In this elective, we do independent research as well as making posters and slideshows. This also includes choice boards too. I like this elective because we have multiple choices to choose from, and it helps expand our knowledge on Ancient Rome. Hi, my name is Lily Wellman. I'm in pottery, and right now we are learning about the history of clay and how clay is made. And we have made so many fun things out of clay, like pumpkins, animal whistles, mugs, and right now we are making chess pieces and chessboards, which I'm especially excited for.
My name is Henry, and I'm doing esports. Esports stands for electronic sports, and we are learning about all the different kinds of jobs you can have in esports. And you can win, the players can win up to millions of dollars in the tournaments.
Hi, my name is Sophie, and I'm in the 8th grade, and my favorite thing about robotics is that we basically build the robots and code them to go through little obstacle courses.
Hi, my name is Paisley, and in health careers we learn about the human body and the respiratory system, and on Friday we're getting CPR certified.
Hi, my name is Macy McInnes. I was interested in the medical field before taking this class. While I was in health careers class, we learned about CPR and the human heart. Now I know I want to be a nurse.
My name is Penny Bertrand again, and you can join us to the school board meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask a question. Is this for the elective for the whole school year, a semester, a quarter?
Yeah, great question. It is by quarter, and there are a variety of different offerings we provide each quarter. And the students went at the beginning of, in the spring semester of last year, they were able to request which elective they wanted to choose or be in. And once spots are filled, or then the 8th graders are the first priority, but once spots are filled, then they get their second choice. And so they get to choose up to 6 different electives over the course of the school year. So
Can they stay in one elective for more than one?
some are, it just depends on the elective. Esports, they could stay in a little bit longer. Robotics as well could be is a semester, just because sometimes we're hoping to get into more competitions, and that creates opportunities like it's, the competitions are at certain points of the year, and so you gotta have a team that is really dedicated for that throughout a longer period of time. So.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Any other questions?
No, I just want to say, the board will have the opportunity tomorrow in their scheduled school visits. They'll start their day at Sulphur Springs, and then they'll end their morning at Fall Branch Elementary School. So I know the board members are looking forward to seeing all these faces again tomorrow, and then maybe seeing them in the classroom.
Great. Look forward to having you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And parents, thank you for bringing them. I assume most of them, if not all of them, were brought here, but I don't think any driving yet. But thank you for sharing your children with us.
Recognizing excellence.
Yes, I want to call Dr. Little up. He might not have been expecting that, but he is the principal of Sulphur Springs. And I just wanted to take the opportunity, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Little to share some wonderful news and highlight some excellence. I entitled it on the agenda, Recognizing Excellence. Of course, just what we heard from Fall Branch, the electives and the students' engagement, that's certainly another example of excellence, but Dr. Little?
Yeah, well, thank you all very much. Actually, what I'm going to speak about just briefly was highlighted in today's Johnson City Press article. I'd like to ask Ms. O'Neill to come up if that's okay. I shared the article out with Mr. Boyd and some others, and one of the things that really resonated with me about the article is that Ms. O'Neill is such a strong and powerful leader, but she's also a servant. And in the article, she said that she did not want for this to be a big deal because of all of the things going on regionally with the devastation from the Hurricane Helene. And she also did not want the attention drawn to herself, which is very typical of Miss O'Neill. And another thing that stood out to me about the article is that the reporter, which is right behind me to the right, Lakin, she asked Miss O'Neill, how will this accomplishment change the way that you teach? And she said, it wouldn't. And she said that it's something to help her to continue to know essentially that she has relevance, but that she is going to continue to do all of the wonderful things that she does in the classroom to really foster student growth with all of our student population. Miss O'Neill, I remember whenever I was interviewing for the position at Sulphur Springs, she was on the panel, and the only question I remember from the panel was she said, what do you know about STEM? And at the time I said, I don't know a lot, but I promise you that I'll learn together with everyone. And that has kind of been the vision statement for our school, is being empowered to solve problems. And Miss O'Neill is truly an amazing leader at our school. Mr. Boyd said that he wanted to congratulate Miss O'Neill on receiving an accomplishment that was a statewide recognition. And we asked someone from our team to actually put together a small video clip. And so I was hoping that Mr. Boyd could show it, and we have a long version and an edited version, and we're gonna share both of those with you after the meeting. But would it be appropriate now for you to show the video?
If this works.
Hey, Ms. O'Neill, congratulations on being Science Teacher of the Year. Thanks for all your help with the VEX robot.
Diana is the definition of professionalism. She is one of the hardest working teachers that I've ever been around. From a parent perspective, my son is on her robotics team. He loves going to robotics every Wednesday. She makes learning fun. We love having Diana at Sulphur Springs.
Congrats, Ms. O'Neill. Thanks for everything you do and for making Sulphur Springs a STEM school.
Ms. O'Neill, congratulations on this accomplishment. Thank you so much for your dedication to the students and faculty and staff at Sulphur Springs.
I love the creativity she brings into the classroom. We love you, Ms. O'Neill.
Mrs. O'Neill, where do I start? I asked some high school students to give me some adjectives describing you. These are just a few. You are kind, creative, patient, funny, inspiring, intelligent, innovative, driven, and most of all, passionate about students' education, whether they are in Washington County, our region, or even Louisiana. Congratulations, Diana. You deserve this.
I love Mrs. O'Neill because she's really kind and she gets hands-on activities with us so we can understand it better, and she's really sweet. I love Miss O'Neill. I love how she gives us future connections to careers.
I had Miss O'Neill last year for CT, and I really liked how she would teach us computer programming with benches.
I love the creativity she brings into the classroom.
Ms. O'Neill, we appreciate your commitment to our students in providing them with new learning opportunities that are engaging and are so fun. We also appreciate that you're giving them access to many different opportunities of learning that they otherwise would not have. We are so thankful that you're a part of our team. We appreciate all of your leadership, and I would like to say congratulations from everyone at Sulphur Springs. So, I kind of forgot to tell you at the onset that she had been nominated from our district office to participate in Science Teacher of the Year for the state of Tennessee, and so she went through the process, and that's what we're celebrating this evening, is that she went to a conference week before last, and that's where she received her recognition and her award for being Middle School Science Teacher of the Year.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Lots of support, the teachers, the students, all of you. You know, it doesn't just come from me. But I appreciate being recognized, but it takes, if they say it takes a village, it truly takes a village, all the way around.
I just want to say thank you for serving our students. They're blessed to have you. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that. I enjoy doing it, and I'm not ready to give up. They keep pushing me.
Thank you. When you come to your school tomorrow, if she needs something, make sure she lets us know.
And we look forward to tomorrow. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. You know, under the idea of recognizing excellence, you know, we haven't had the opportunity. We had, I guess, a called board meeting right in the midst of the flood recovery efforts that early that week. And, you know, there was a lot of people stepped up. They, you know, made a lot of personal sacrifices as far as trying to help those that were in crisis and in need, our staff, our first responders in the community, a lot of our county agencies, our law enforcement, you know, our other county agencies, our highway department, and just personal, you know, citizens along, you know, just kind of held hands and really supported each other. through a very difficult time, and that time's continued, but that was the midst of the crisis, and it really showed a lot of character of individuals, but also of this community, where people do care about each other, where people will not hesitate and rush in to help those in need, and I see it continuing today with the continued efforts of those families that were directly impacted and the losses that they're trying to overcome, whether it's loved ones or personal property. And you know, it's just, and the idea of excellence, that was one of the biggest demonstrations that I've seen, you know, of a community stepping up and really just wrapping their arms around each other and just being there for one another. And you know, one thing that I mentioned to our staff in the beginning of the year message, you know, one of the things that as a person you can do and always be an opportunity to lead is show up. And the people in this community, all the public servants, the private citizens, and even the strangers that came from other states, everybody showed up, and especially when they were needed. So I just think that also deserves recognition. And especially, it's always wonderful to highlight great models of excellence with Miss O'Neill and what she does. I also want to say we have something in common. One of my favorite historical characters is Socrates, and you know, in the writings of Plato. And when you said in this article about, you know, I cannot teach you anything, I can only make you think, you know, unfortunately Socrates was executed for that idea. But we want to elevate and celebrate Miss O'Neill and everyone that takes on that challenge of teaching our children to think. And thank you, Mrs. O'Neill, for that. But the community, we got a long road ahead. I mean, we still have a lot as we have in front of us, but I have 100% confidence in the community that we have, and know that the people that need the support are going to get it. They are getting it. And they also know that it's not just this week, next month. It's over the next many months until we get everybody through this, and we come out on the other side stronger and better. So, but I just want to thank the community for the response.
Washington County Education Association.
Good evening. Hello. I don't know if I've introduced myself to the board or not, but I'm Doug Harris, teacher at David Crockett, and I'm also the vice president of the Washington County Education Association. So I'm here this evening just to take a few minutes of your time to offer some congratulations and some thank yous that are very well due. First of all, on behalf of the WCEA, we want to welcome Mr. Barnes back to the board. So glad to have you. We are looking very forward to working with you over the next 4 years. Some congratulations that we want to give out. Thank you for your reorganization of the board, and congratulations to Mr. Hammond for being named the vice chair, and to Ms. Buchanan for being named the chair of the board. A couple of sessions ago, you very diligently and humbly adopted our MOU, our new memorandum of understanding between the school board and the professional employees of this county, and we are so grateful for the time that the board team, Mr. Boyd, and all of you spent reading that document and helping us to get that adopted for our professional employees in the county. Like Ms. O'Neill said a minute ago, it does take a village, and the MOU is a long process between a lot of people, including the board side team and the professional employees of Washington County who were elected to serve. So we thank you so much for adopting that. We have teachers so excited about some of the new benefits in that MOU, and we appreciate y'all so much for doing that. Up on your agenda for this evening, I think, is committee discussions. So we want to offer our thank you to you for keeping that in the front line of your agenda. That shows a great commitment from this board of how much you value the teachers' voices from the classroom to serve on those committees. So I think you're going to be talking about reorganization this evening, so thank you so much for doing that. It's really great to know that you are backing us from the classroom and listening to our voice when we have things to say when we get to serve on those committees. So thank you very much for that. And then Mr. Boyd has already touched on my last item, and that is we wanted to offer some huge shout outs for all the assistance during the flood that were going on. First of all, to you all and to Mr. Boyd, thank you for opening our schools. I mean, that was 100% needed. We thank you for doing that and allowing our community those locations during that time of need. All of our administrators, Dr. Little, I saw him multiple times out and about. All of the administrators, Dr. Davis from Crockett, I can't name them all, but they were all present. And we appreciate you for letting them step up to be leaders and servants during this flood. Huge shout out from the CEA to Mr. Merriman and to Mr. McKinney, who went above and beyond the call of duty. And I don't even know if they ever left their school sites during that time. I think they were there all the time. So we appreciate them so much for doing that. They literally went above the call for our families and our communities who were literally in crisis, and we appreciate them so much. And then the school board, you all, thank you. I don't know if it was Mr. Boyd. We're assuming Mr. Boyd and all of the leadership here in the central office building for literally making a rotating schedule for the principals and assistant principals. They had them literally there in shifts. They were there, they showed up, they were so beneficial to helping people who were in need, so we appreciate that. All the other administrators, assistant principals, teachers, faculty, staff, all the people who were in the rotation, we appreciate them being in their buildings or in the main buildings for help. And then lastly, the community. We are so grateful for this community. Washington County is such a special place. It's always been my home. It will always be my home. And I'm so proud of this community for stepping up and being there when people needed us. So thank you all for all of your help and all of your assistance. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the year too.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Public comment? I did not see any.
You have anyone?
Okay. All right, consideration of the meeting agenda.
Give them a second.
Give them just a second.
You're welcome to stay, but we understand why you're departing.
I wasn't sure if someone
Thank you
left and then someone stayed.
Sometimes you gotta give them the nod. There you go. The size of the group.
You ought to have a drawing at the end of the board meeting, whoever remains could possibly win,
Sure.
$25.
Sure.
I don't know that'd be worth it.
It may not be
I don't
worth
know
it.
that'd be worth it. Did y'all hear a recommendation for the consideration of the meeting agenda? Mr. Clinton?
I'd like to take 8A off, and with that amendment, make an improvement of the consideration of the agenda.
I don't want to take it off.
Okay, so what I need is I need a recommendation and then an amendment.
Well, no, that's my motion.
That's your motion is,
Yeah, to take 8A off and to approve the.
okay, so I need a second for that.
Second. Can we discuss that more?
We can discuss that. Mr. Masters? Discussion.
If you want to know the reason why.
Let's get ready to say
Motion, for Pete's sakes.
The reason why is we didn't discuss it in the workshop. I just thought we'd kick it back to a workshop and then bring it back up to a meeting. And I know it's gonna take some time, so in tonight's meeting, I just say just take 8A off. It's my thing.
We were gonna, it was on the agenda at the last board meeting, there were three individuals couldn't be here, and the board at that time agreed to push it to this meeting, just as a courtesy to be sure that everyone had input, so just want to share that.
Okay.
I'm not sure you were.
I was one of the ones that wasn't.
You were one of the ones. So we were trying to help you out a little bit.
Who else wasn't here?
Me.
You and, there was two or three either, was you? What I thought.
One had 6
During
members.
the fall break.
If this was a new item that we had never discussed before, then I could see delaying it again to the workshop. But I think there's some people that want to act upon this sooner than later, and therefore I would like to see it remain on the agenda.
Anyone else? Mr. Riddle?
I just don't think we've really got enough information that we've probably gained to move forward with anything on it. I think it's better suited for discussion in a workshop.
Anyone else? Can I confirm that?
Having
Yeah.
the connection problem. I vote no if you want
No,
to proceed.
okay, I'll take care of it for you. Motion carried.
Have a recommendation?
Well, no, wait just a second. The vote no,
Not to take it off.
Not to take it
Yes, to take it off.
that's what I was gonna say, okay. Alright. So we're gonna discuss it again at the workshop.
We take back to the workshop.
Make sure it's on the agenda for the workshop on November 26th.
Approval of the meetings, do I have any, Mr. Flannel?
Make a motion, we approve meeting minutes as presented.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hammond. Vote, please.
Madam Chairman, my technical difficulties continue. I vote yes.
You're furthest away from Miss Gina.
Well, it's it's probably more than that. I'm a bit of a rebel on turning to my own computer. I've had some things ironed out, but maybe not.
All approved? Announcements, please, Mr. Wood.
Certainly, I mean, they're all listed there, you know, the normal scheduled meetings that occur in the month, beginning with the Hugh Committee meeting. Just as a reminder, there were some items we discussed in the workshop, that, I anticipate, adding that to the Hugh agenda, or requesting it be on the Hugh agenda. And then, of course, the, annual Tennessee School Board Association conference begins on Thursday, November 7th, and runs through that Sunday. Everyone, I believe, got your information tonight with your accommodations and agendas. With the regular county commission budget meeting is as you see on the 13th. And just to note, American Education Week, which is highlighted every year in November, is November 18th through the 22nd, in recognition of public education and American education in general. The full commission is on the 25th. And then something I just noticed I left off, the workshop is, if you will note, on Tuesday, the 26th of November. So that's our next board workshop. And I apologize for not having that after that item. Thanksgiving holiday, our schools close Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, beginning on the 27th. And the district offices will be closed on Thursday and Friday and Thanksgiving holiday. The next board meeting, as you see, is Thursday, December 5th. And I did note, and shared with the board will receive the link from TSB, I believe, on Friday the 1st. And then the window will run through the 18th on the annual superintendent and director of schools evaluation that you all do and complete individually. We should have those results by the next workshop. And then that will be an item on the agenda on December 5th to review those outcomes and also any discussion the board chooses about my contract. And that's all of the announcements.
We closed on election day, so.
Yes, we are closed on election day. The schools are closed, students don't have to go to school, and it's not on here, but we have our ACT retake scheduled on Wednesday, November 6th for our seniors, it's senior retake day on the ACT at our high schools. That should be it.
Superintendent's report.
We'll begin with Ms. Hodge. Kendall has an overview, a presentation of David Crockett High School, and we're gonna turn it over to her.
Can you raise the temperature of the room, please?
Sure.
Hi, everybody. So I'm just gonna do a quick highlight of David Crockett and just talk about some of the things that have been going on, some of the exciting things that we've had come new, and the things that we've had before. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about some weekly newsletters, our clubs, our sports, some activities we've had, some new programs that we've had going on, and things like that. This just has our mission statement. This is just the kind of an opening page, just if you want to read it, but it's not that important. So our weekly newsletters is something that Dr. Davis actually started, I think, last year. It is a newsletter that comes out every Monday morning, and it kind of gives an overview of the week. It has a weekly schedule, it has any events that we have planned, it has any important information that the students or parents might need. This goes out to the students and the parents, by the way. And it just has, and there's three kind of main parts to this newsletter. One of them is the Pioneer Spotlight. So if any of our students have or clubs have a exciting thing that happened or a recognition, they just email Dr. Davis and she puts it in the newsletter. So that way our school can recognize these students and give them the recognition that they deserve. It also has a day-by-day weekly schedule, so it has any club meetings that we may have, any events, and we've recently started putting teachers' birthdays on there as well, so that way we can wish them a happy birthday if they have to come to school on that day. And then it also has a student support section, which includes a homework hotline, a anonymous bullying report, and then like counselor recommendations, and if you need a food bag or anything like that, any sort of help that you may need is also easy to access on this weekly newsletter. So for our clubs, we have a lot of club happenings going on right now. One thing that is coming up soon is Student Council. They are hosting a Veterans Day breakfast in the morning before school for any of the people that would like to join. I know I am a part of Student Council, so this is one of our first activities as a Student Council, and it's really exciting. I'm also part of choir, and we are also going to be singing a few songs for the Veterans Breakfast as well. HOSA is also having their annual yearly blood drive come up, which is really exciting and has been very successful in the past, and they have usually have a lot of people participate, and it's really exciting for them. Key Club in the past 2 weeks or so had a teacher appreciation breakfast bar where any teachers could come down and have donuts or pancakes and waffles, and they just celebrated them. They had made a big poster that's still standing in the library that just has all of the Key Club signatures and has all of them saying that we appreciate the teachers. Our Beta Club recently had its induction. I'm a part of this club as well. I'm actually the president, so I was able to kind of conduct the induction ceremony and welcome these new members into the club. And then with the induction, we also had our first service project. We collected food items to stock our Pioneer Pantry, which is for any of the Pioneer families in need. Crockett's Beta Club also last year was named a School of Distinction for last year, which is also pretty exciting. Our Civinettes Club is an all-girl community service club that I'm also a part of. I am also the president of this club. We've done a couple activities recently. One of them was a can drive that we did. We have a church that comes in every third Thursday of the week and collects cans. We did a can drive for this. We were able to collect a lot of cans actually. We also, at the very beginning of school, did a group project during third period and made new teacher baskets. So we went around to all the new teachers in our school and gave them gift baskets just to welcome them to the school and show them that we're grateful that they're here. One thing that actually is very, very new, it started last year, is our senior mentor program. So I'm a part of this as well. But so last year's seniors decided that they wanted to start something kind of new. And so they started a program where the seniors would go into the freshman success classes and kind of just like, it was once a week, I think, and help the students just get more acclimated to high school life and everything. And if they had any questions, they kind of let them know that they were there for them. And also just if they needed someone to talk to, that the seniors were there for them as well. We've continued this year and it's going really well. We recently had homecoming. This was a very exciting week. We had the homecoming game, and then we had powder puff football, powder puff cheerleading, a pep rally, and we also had dress up days for a portion of the week. And it was just a really exciting week, and it had a lot of school spirit involved. Our sports have been successful recently. We recently had senior night, which included the sports of football, cheerleading, dance, golf, cross country, ROTC, and band. Volleyball and soccer had their own together, but this was all together before a game one night, and it was really successful. And we actually have a lot of seniors competing in sports this year, so it was a pretty long ceremony. Caucus soccer, I am on the Caucus soccer team. We actually did really well this year. We made it to regionals for the second time ever in Crockett history. One of our teammates, Courtney Schaefer, she beat the school record with 73 goals for her career. We had many people receive all conference and all tournament awards as well. Football is also doing really good. We have a really good student section, cheerleaders, band, dancers that are there almost every night, giving so much school spirit. So I actually got these from the weekly newsletter. This is some of the things that we are doing right now just to try to help people in any way that we can. We have Thanksgiving food baskets available for anyone who needs them, and they just have to fill out that form and let us know that they need them. There's also food bags available. I think this is almost always available as well. This is one of the things that is on the weekly newsletter and under the hotline section. We also have started recently this year, this is a very new program, a bullying prevention program. It's called OBEUS, I think is how to pronounce it, I'm not really sure. But so every other Wednesday, we go into our homeroom class and we have a presentation, a group project, or a class discussion just to kind of talk about and as a way to try to prevent bullying and to try to help it decrease as it has become a very prevalent problem. We recently just redid our new stadium, and it looks very nice, and we have a whole new section of bleachers and a walkway, and I think I've heard that more construction is coming, but I'm not 100% certain, but that's just one of our new things that's happening as well. And I think that is the end of my presentation.
Great.
Mr. Walters.
Very good presentation.
Thank you.
And you're staying very busy, I hear.
Yes.
So, that is awesome that you're part of all of this and a leader. I was gonna ask you about the anti-bullying program. Are you noticing, or any of your classmates noticing any reduction?
I think it really has been helpful. I think we've only had about 3 meetings so far, I think, but from the 3 meetings, they've been very insightful, and I haven't seen a huge difference yet, but I really can tell that there will be one soon, because it's a very insightful program.
Well, it takes the older ones to be mentors to the younger ones, just like you have other programs, and if you all do not tolerate it, it'll slow down.
Yes.
Thank you. Great job.
You mentioned that you put teachers' birthdays on the notice. You put their age along with it?
No, we don't. Any other questions?
Thank you. You did a wonderful job.
The other are just, standard reports, just for board's full awareness and public record. Our enrollment updates, this was the monthly update that I send to the county commission. I include you all when I send that out to the commissioners that has the enrollment information for the month. The financials that Mr. Hill has shared with you and was discussed and reviewed at the workshop. Of course, field trips don't require board approval, just for your awareness. The links to go on the dashboard and look at the monthly activity and the maintenance requests. And of course, personnel report for the month, and then Ms. McKinney's grant report for the month. That's all.
Thank you. Is there recommendation for the consideration of the consent agenda? Mr. Walters.
I make a recommendation that we do approve this consent agenda.
Second.
Second by Mr. Huddleston. Can you vote, please? Motion carries. We'll move on to discussion and presentations. The 2024-25 committees, you have a list at your station there. If you haven't gotten a chance to look at those. Mr. Boyd, do you have anything to say about those?
Now, these committees, as Mr. Harris pointed out, you will notice when they are part of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding with the professional employees, it's notated that way. Others are board policy, for example, the sick leave bank, that's board policy of members to be appointed, and to manage requests for the sick leave bank. In the cases where the MOU requires or in the spirit of the MOU, we want to have those committees. It includes teachers per the agreement, as well as district staff and school admin staff, as you will see down through there. And then the other one is a board policy requirement. It's just the disciplinary hearing authority. So when there's a long-term suspension, there's a right of appeal, and the first level of appeal is to the disciplinary hearing authority, and that is the team. And a minimum of 3 of those members would need to participate in any of the hearings, but there's enough so that 3 people can be available anytime there is an appeal. And then we also have a student discipline committee that meets to review the code of conduct, to discuss any changes that might need to be made, improvements. And then by policy, there's the executive committee that's by policy, the board chair and the superintendent. And then, anything else beyond that is dictated by Tennessee code, the special questions committee, and then also the technical review committee, which this year for science, you have already approved that list of teachers that will be involved in the review of the textbooks.
Yes, sir.
Don't we have to make a motion to approve the committee?
The committees, yes.
Make a motion that we approve the committee assignments as presented.
I second.
Can we vote, please?
How are the teachers selected to be on it?
Supervisors identified, we try to represent as many of the schools across all the committees as we can, and grade levels, and just, knowledge of their experience and their contribution. And interest, sometimes we do know that may have a conversation, a teacher may express an interest, say, to be on the discipline committee. That's an opportunity for them to serve. Thank you.
Capital projects update.
Yes, Dr. Adams.
Yeah, we have Jeff Essery here from Merritt Construction, overseeing the security vestibules at the high school, saw that Jeff presentation.
I think we've got some media support here.
There again, I'm Jeff Esri, I'm with Merritt Construction, I'm the superintendent on site. Today we've had our block and doors and mortar delivered. I've got all of the demo done in the first phase at the boom, so we will start building back tomorrow.
Awesome.
So, next page.
I guess I'm supposed to do that.
You can see where I've done some door prep. So that's where my new block is gonna go. You can see the carpet on the right-hand side. This is where a wall's gonna go over and a new door will go into this section. It's a better view there. We're gonna have the resource officer's room will be right off the side of that. So I'll be building his room there. So my next phase will be going into sheetrock and metal studs to get his wall built and have my storefront done for it. And I will be finishing the offices for the secretaries to move them over so that I can go into the second phase. You can see that we've done our footers dug for those. Got the footers done. I do have my piers set. I've called the steel people. I'm having it delivered, and that way I can start setting my columns, doing the outside part of the vestibule. At Crockett, I've dug my footers, got my rebar in. I've poured for the footers for those. There again, I've called for my steel and stuff, trying to get the whole outside completely done so that I can keep my wood, keep everything secure and safe on the inside. I do have a few pictures just to let you see that how far the inside of the new part will be. So where the floor is cut there, I will go up and then it'll be the inside part of that. And that's where we are at this point.
Yes, that's it.
So we will start building back tomorrow.
We appreciate you so much.
Wonderful.
Questions?
Thank you. And I thought I was busy. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Daniel Boone Heating and Cooling System. Estimates.
That's just, I kept that from the workshop. It's just, if there's no action tonight, it's just there for consideration. Next step potentially could be we get a design and bid it out. And that's really what I guess we're requesting is just authorization to seek, take that step to work, to identify, an engineer, mechanical engineer, I guess, or, structural, wouldn't be a structural, would be mechanical. And look at a design of a system to bid out eventually in the near future.
Mr. Quinn.
Make a motion, we move forward with find a mechanical engineer to, do you want us to, excuse me while I'm in the middle of the motion, but do you want us to pick, having the cooling tires or consensus?
Well, I think that as we can go ahead and choose a mechanical engineer, but they're gonna have to know what direction we need them to go in their design.
So I'll make a motion that we move forward with selecting a mechanical engineer, and moving forward with a cooling tire system with bores and get away from the geothermal.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I think you're right on track, I'll say. Clearly want to get away from geothermal. I think we just want to be careful not to tie their hands about the design they come up with.
Yeah.
Be flexible if they come back with some innovative above ground solution that maybe doesn't include cooling tower, I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, but get away from the geothermal.
That's the key.
To reiterate the guidance we have, we talked about redundancy and then consideration for future to So, of course, whatever we get into the design process, the board will have the final approval on what the design is to then take the step to bid. But what I recall was, looking at We need to double up basically on the cooling towers.
Yes.
And then have to have the same thought about how much would we need to look at for the boilers too, as far as capacity. So we need to prepare to have a system that's, I guess, scalable for the future when we think about, additional classroom space.
I think what we talked about is redundancy. You know, you could have a cooling tower with redundancy within, the individual cells within it, so, which, you know.
Right, so again, the design will come back to the board before we would pursue, solicit bids. But we need to have something to bid.
So, go ahead, Mr. Rice.
Yeah, question. Cooling has been a problem. Does this carry over into heating as well? Problems?
It's the entire system, the management of the water that cools and heats the building. All of the internal equipment is new. It's the heat exchange system that's currently geothermal. It all is impacted by the failing geothermal system. Heating and cooling. The cooling is more of a challenge than the heating.
So would you bid what we had, the change that we had asked for in workshop? Is that what you would bid?
Yes, just the guidance we received in the workshop. But just to remind, we would need a design first. The board would review and basically approve the design, and then that would be what would be used for the bid process.
Any other discussion? Can we vote? Motion carries. Moving on to operations of PCO Daniel Boone High School abatement.
Yes, this was discussed in workshop and you, even though it wasn't formal action, I said it'd bring it back to the board, but it was time sensitive, so we authorized using contingency funds to abate the issue with the installation at Daniel Boone High School so that they can move the project along. And as you heard, they're obviously moving the project along.
So do we need anything else tonight?
Just formal approval of that order.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the, Daniel Boone High School, asbestos abatement process.
Second by Mr. Fleener. Is there any discussion? We vote, please. Mr. Fleener, sorry.
No, you're good.
Switched it up on.
I know.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
All right, demo existing house on the Daniel Boone High School property. Is there any recommendation for that? Mr. Fleener?
Make motion we approve, moving forward with the demo.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Riddle. Any discussion?
And that's where we are gonna try to put the,
In that general area,
In that
that
area,
house
yes.
needs to
if
be
that works.
moved
Yeah,
anyway.
of course. Yes.
Correct. Any discussion? More discussion? Can we vote, please?
Construction, maintenance. He was questioning costs. I said it's within our maintenance budget. We're renting equipment and doing the work ourselves.
So they're gonna do it. Thank you. The school nutrition, the request for the payment of the expensive for the adult meals served during disaster relief efforts. Do you want to say something to that?
Yes, you know, this is the records from Caitlin, you know, our food service director, during that time, that essentially 2-week time, These are the adult meals served. And, what will generally happen, you know, it's gonna have to be paid for. I guess Mr. Hale would say essentially it would be fund balance right now, but we're in the process of applying to FEMA for this reimbursement, you know, along with the county. So this would be then part of that reimbursement process request.
So you just need a motion to.
Just to authorize the payment of this amount.
Mr. Ward?
Just for, I mean, for me, and I thought we said it in the workshop, of course, now that you're all applying for that, but for the sake of not having to make an amendment to the budget and then having to, you know, move it again and have an amendment again, would we be better off just to defer this until we find out if we're getting the money, you know, and close?
Well, I mean, it can be done at the end of your budget amendment. It can be done then or now.
I mean, I didn't know.
Mr. Hale gets into a conversation with our county finance director, when we defer those kinds of budget amendments. I mean, it's certainly allowable, but it's not appreciated by the county.
What would you like us to do, Brandon?
I just wanna make sure I understand what we're doing. Are we making a motion to reimburse dietary from general fund right now? Is that what we're doing?
Well, that was my understanding.
Okay. So if you do that, then, I would just make a budget amendment to the operating transfers line, which is last page of our budget, for this amount, which means general fund would reimburse dietary. They've already paid for it. It just went through the payroll, so it's, I mean, it was paid seamlessly, so it's already been
And then
paid.
the board then would get reimbursed through
Yeah.
FEMA reimbursement.
So that would be the difference is you would just be paying, you'd be reimbursing dietary out of general fund. And then if and when we get reimbursed by FEMA, the board would just get reimbursed at that time, so it's.
And deferring is not a good idea?
Well, when you say deferring, let me understand what we're.
Just waiting to see?
I mean, it'll be years from now.
Okay.
It won't be this year.
Okay.
I was just told the COVID money that we submitted from 2021 just came into the county like within the last few months, so.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so we're, you know, this is something that'll be years from now.
Mr. Hammond?
It seems like it's the cleanest way to do it is do it now, so I make a motion that we reimburse out of the general fund.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Walters. Any more discussion, Mr.
Just
Johnson?
for that, I think for the sake of the public, the amount we're talking about is $25,000, right?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
I just want to be clear about it.
Yes, sir.
And the items were to feed, we fed the teams that came in, the rescue teams, the swiftwater teams that were housed at our schools. We did those meals there, and for pretty much anybody that was housed at the schools, whether it was adults that had been misplaced or displaced.
It's really about the adults, you know, the under 18 or 18 and under is a reimbursable meal.
Correct.
Can be a reimbursable meal. The adult meals are not, so that's what this is.
Thank you. And she just had to do what she had to do at that time, so I mean.
She did,
Totally
she did
understandable.
exactly that her team did, and, you know, it was part of that solution that we all saw happen.
Just to clarify, David, and I know what he meant, but that's not what he said, but that's for the general fund to pay back dietary.
Pay back dietary, come from the general.
Authorization for reimbursement of expenses for professional service disaster relief effort out of the general fund.
$2. Yes, ma'am. Any more discussion? Can we vote, please? Motion carries. So we have an additional item, it looks like.
Yes, this is just an overnight field trip that came in after the workshop, so it's under additional items for board consideration. It's, as you can see, or you may have seen, it's David Crockett, Camp Clements FFA Camp, November 21st through 23rd. I don't have this enlarged, so my eyes are, there we go, thank you. 22nd through 23rd. 2-day trip. And and it is overnight, and it is in state, but it is overnight requiring board approval.
Mr. Walters?
I put into a motion, what Mr. Boyd just stated, the FFA trip overnight, make a motion that we approve it.
Mr. Flavor seconded. Any discussion? Can we vote, please?
I second
Mr. Flavor?
Walters.
Walters.
Okay,
I can't hear.
Sorry. I was trying to read your mind.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Just before you just gavel down here, just want to say, if Jennifer's watching, we're praying for her.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see her back, even though we've let Miss Rivers been here, but if she is watching, we, definitely miss her, and we're praying for her speedy recovery.
Thank you all for your time this evening.
Don't take that the wrong way, Miss Rivers, there.
And I'm gonna miss singing karaoke with her this year.
You're getting to come down there again, so you can sing with us, okay?
Sometime in church.
You guys-